All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Bridget, and there is just a few things I would like to say before I do get started. Um, if you do hear any background noise, that is my dogs just messing around. I do have a 6-month-old puppy, so she is still, like I said, a puppy. She's in her puppy stages. Um, I also would like to say that I have been a little sick recently. I do have a very, very sore throat, so please just bear with me during this presentation. I will try my best to not stutter or mispronounce anything and just make sure that I am as clear as I possibly can be so you guys can understand me. But with that being said, um, for my astronomy final, I would like to talk about the Big Bang Theory. Sadly, I'm not going to be talking about the Big Bang Theory, the TV show. However, that is one of my favorite TV shows, so it would have been very interesting to do a project on that as well. Now, during this presentation, I am going to be talking about the who, what, when, where, why, and how. More specifically, I am going to be talking about the who came up with the Big Bang Theory, what is the Big Bang, when did the Big Bang happen, where did it happen, why is it important, and finally, how does it affect us? Now, who created the Big Bang? Well, to answer that question, the Big Bang Theory was created by Georges Lemaitre. Now, who is Georges Lemaitre? Well, he was a Belgian Roman Catholic priest, physicist, and astronomer. Now, you may be wondering, wait, did you say Catholic priest? I did. Now, however, yes, he is, or he was a Catholic priest. Um, since he was also a physicist and an astronomer, he was interested in the science side of how the world was created. So, with that being said, he is usually credited with the first definitive formulation of the idea of an expanding universe and what was to become known as the Big Bang Theory, the origin of the universe, which Lemire himself called his hypothesis of the primeval atom. Now, when did Georges Lemaitre propose this theory? Well, he proposed this theory during 1931 at the British Association in London. They were gathering to discuss the relationship between the physical universe and the spirituality. I apologize. Demetrius first voiced his proposal at this gathering. His proposal was that the universe had expanded from this initial point, then exploded at the moment of creation. However, Lemaitre did have backlash when his proposal it was initially met with skepticism from his fellow scientists. Even the supportive Eddington found his notion to be repugnant. Now, Einstein was initially unwilling to accept this idea of an expanding universe, although he did appreciate Lemaitre's argument that the static Einsteinian model of the universe could not be sustained indefinitely into the past. Now, Einstein made this comment to Lemaitre, saying, "Your math is correct, but your physics is admirable." Now, what is the Big Bang? First, I would like to talk about how this theory actually got its name. It was not always called the Big Bang Theory. When he first came up with it, he called it the primeval atom or the cosmic egg. It was not actually until 1943 that it changed the name, or the name was switched to the Big Bang. It was during a radio broadcast interview with Fred Hoyle. He said that these theories were based on this hypothesis that all the matter in the universe was created at one Big Bang at a particular time in the remote past. Now, once he said the Big Bang, it stuck, and that is what we still call it to this day, all these years later. And as you can see on these slide of this, the side of this slide, there's a picture, and this is a picture of Fred Hoyle. So I thought you guys would like to put, a name or a face to who said this. Now, what the theory actually is that in the first 10 to the power of 43 seconds of the existence, the universe was very compact, less than a million billion billionth size of a single atom. I can't even imagine how small that would be. It's thought that at such an incomprehensibly dense, energetic state, the four fundamental forces, gravity, electromagnetism, and the strong and weak nuclear forces, were all forged into this one single force. However, our current theories have yet to figure out how a single unified force would work. Now, we can actually recreate the Big Bang, what happened during it on a smaller scale to see how it works. I did provide a link to a video that shows you how they recreate it and what happens. If you are interested, feel free to click on that link and go watch that video. I found it very interesting. Next, when did the Big Bang happen? So how long ago was it? Well, our universe is said to have started about 13.7 billion years ago, but you will see some other sources saying 13.8 billion years ago. There's just some, we can't be exactly sure how long ago it was. But some people actually do describe the Big Bang as a balloon blowing up and expanding because that's exactly what happened during the Big Bang. There was this reaction with all of these different things going on, all of the atoms and everything bouncing around, that they just exploded. So, it's building up like a balloon would, and it's expanding, and it it blew up and it just kept going and expanding to what the universe is we have now. Now, where did the Big Bang happen? And you may be thinking, well, that's kind of a silly question. It happened in space. Well, maybe not. Well, the origin story is that the Big Bang postulates that 13.7 billion years ago, our universe emerged from this singularity, this point of indefinite density and gravity. But before that event, space and time did not exist. So the Big Bang took no place. There was no specific time that it happened. There was no specific, place. Like it's not like, oh, well, the Big Bang happened, next to Mars on November 3rd in 19 whatever. There was no time, there was no place, which I find is very cool. I never really thought about how there was just nothing before the Big Bang, how there was just a bunch of atoms and a bunch of other things just bouncing off each other. Now, why is this theory important to us? Well, this theory is important because it's the leading explanation about how our universe begun. When you simplify this down, it says that the universe, as we know it, started with that small singularity, then inflated over the next 13.8 billion years to the cosmos that we know today. And I would just like to point out that in how I said inflated, like just like that balloon reference I used a couple slides ago, because that, like I said, that's exactly what happened. How is it important to our class? Well, it's pretty important to our class. The Big Bang is what created everything. Without the Big Bang, there would be no space, no stars, no planets. There would be nothing. If the Big Bang did not happen, then according to science, we would not be here. It is very important that we study the Big Bang during our class because it is what created the start of our universe and space, and everything that we looked at during this class is all because the Big Bang happened, according to science. I mean, it also does differ with different religious beliefs as well, but according to science, this is what started everything. How does this theory affect us? Well, it essentially formed the entire universe that we know, and all the elements, forces, stars, and planets in it, More especially, most of the hydrogen and helium in the universe today was actually formed during those early days of the Big Bang. Could you imagine if we didn't have like helium? How boring would parties be without the balloons and that after the parties when you pop them and you suck in the helium, how much fun you have messing around with that silly high voice, we would be missing it, we'd be missing out on so much fun if helium just wasn't created. But that is the end of my slideshow, but I would like to say just a few things. I found this topic very, very interesting for me because I was born in a religious family that taught me that God created everything, that, He created this universe, created everything, and to actually look at and detail about how the scientific side of how the universe created, for me, it was very, very interesting to see this. I never really thought about it. I had heard about the Big Bang Theory, but all I ever knew was, yeah, that's the scientific reason that the world is what it is now today. Now, I would like to state too that yes, there are other theories out there about how the world started. Like I had mentioned previously in my presentation, this is the most popular one with people today. This is the one that people were like, "Oh yes, like this one makes the most sense to me. Like this is what I can understand." And for me, that is the situation as well. I did look into some other theories that there are out there, and for me, this one just made the most sense. Um, well, I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation. I hope you all have a nice holiday.